Against the Current is sponsored in part by SurfPro of Pulaski and Laurel counties. When fire or water damage takes over your life, trust the team in green at SurfPro to help you make it like it never even happened. They provide 24/7 service when you need it most. Give the local office a call at 606-877-2160 or online at surfpro.pulaski-laurel-counties.com. Franchises are independently owned and operated. Today I'm joined by Mr. Jordan Adams, owner and founder of Zilla Meals and Zilla Training and Nutrition. Jordan and his wife Sarah live here in Somerset with their now, is it 2 Siberian Huskies?
Yeah, we got a
recently.
9-year-old and a 6-week-old.
How's that going?
Not sleeping. No, they're beautiful kids. We don't have any human kids, so all of our time and energy when we're not at work is focused on them. Fortunately, the old one, he's leading the way and teaching this young one the ropes.
Nice, I like it. My uncle used to have a Siberian Husky, so I always have a little bit of an affinity for them. I like them a lot. So.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
Absolutely. So in addition to the Zilla brand, Jordan is also an ISSA certified personal trainer, certified specialist in fitness nutrition, an NPC men's physique competitor, and a USPA amateur powerlifter. Zilla Meals has quickly become a staple in downtown Somerset, and their mission is to provide the most nourishing, affordable, and delicious meals you can find so that your life can be easier and you can take advantage of the extra time you have now that it's not spent meal prepping. Zilla Meals is shipped nationwide, and they have 18 drop-off locations across the state of Kentucky and even one in Indiana as well. So, Jordan, what I'd like to do here is do some rapid-fire questions, kind of put your credibility on the line here with these. So if you answer them right, you're good. If you answer them wrong, you may be in trouble for the rest of the episode. So we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Normally, I do some unhealthy breakfast questions here, but this episode's airing the first part of January. People probably have some New Year's resolutions to be healthy, so I don't want to put too many bad, unhealthy food items in their head and get them off tracks this early. So we'll just do one, and I'll go with what is your favorite or maybe your go-to cheat meal?
Okay. So my favorite, I don't really do cheat or free meals. I know that's really weird. Mainly because whenever I'm in, if I'm in contest prep mode, it is game on. There's no detours whatsoever. Absolutely. But then whenever I'm trying to improve in the off season and I'm trying to, gain some muscle mass, I'm having to eat so much food already that having a cheat or free meal, it's actually just going to be less food. So I'm going to go get actually something smaller so I don't have to feel like I'm going to vomit after a meal. However, I'm going to plug our friends down here at the new Whiskey Grill down here in downtown Somerset. I hear they have an amazing bourbon burger with some sauteed onions and fries. So probably going to be checking that out this weekend.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting down there and trying that out.
Yeah, I've heard good things. So we've kind of got this dynamic in downtown, especially right here where we're located. You've got us. Right next to us, you have Serendipity, which is more of a mom-and-pop style sit-down diner. Then next to them, you have the donut sweetery shop. So,
it's a conflicting walk through downtown Somerset. You got to be careful.
It is. You can generally tell, just by looking out the window where people are getting ready to go. And people with some sort of moral high ground, they'll come to us first. And they'll get their Zilla Meals, then they'll go to the donut shop. But they'll never do that in reverse. They'll never bring their donuts into Zilla. So
I like it. They feel good, got their healthy meal, so they thought, well, let's go ahead and just get dessert while I'm down here.
Exactly. I assume they walk in there and say, well, this is my main course, but I need you to.
Next question. What is your favorite item that's on the menu, I guess maybe right now or will be in January?
My favorite all time, and I doubt that it's ever going to get beat, is the beef loaf. So it's a high protein, lower fat, lower carbohydrate meatloaf. It's actually the first meal we ever put on the menu.
Nice.
2 going on 3 years ago. Back then we had three meals, and that was one of them. And it continues to this day to be one of, if not the highest sellers every week. So
I'm a pretty big fan of the meatballs and cheese ravioli.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's one of those I've got to be in the mood for Italian though,
Gotcha.
and that's typically not very common. Yeah, we on our menu, we try to expand the base so where we have foods that are based on different people's preferences. Like for people who like the Southern style cooking, we'll have like a Kentucky breakfast scramble or the beef loaf, for example. Then for people who more like a little bit more, Mexican style, we have a south of the border skillet and naked burrito bowls, cheeseburger bowls, that type of thing. So, it's hard to pick this one, but the beef loaf would have to be the go-to for me.
What about your favorite, I guess, make your own meal that you guys have?
I'm super biased because I'm very picky on how my people cook this, but our sweet potatoes are thebomb.com.
I'm a big sweet potato fan, and every time I see a post with them on social media, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, they're the seasoning that we use for that. I'm not gonna let you know what that is because your listeners will not get the Krabby Patty secret formula today. But it's one of those things like growing up, I hated yams. I hated sweet potatoes, especially in mashed form. It was like, what are you doing here? This is baby food, and it's disgusting baby food is that. So, we cook it in a way to where, even my taste buds love it. So,
nice.
But I do the build your own custom meal because like I said earlier, my food is so darn high right now that a lot of the foods on our menu, it's not exactly fitting to where I would need to go. So I need about 9 ounces of a meat plus about a cup of sweet potatoes or rice. And we have that on the menu, but I'll double that up sometimes.
Nice. I like it. Next question here. What's maybe the last either maybe book, podcast, article, whatever it may be that you read that I guess was maybe impactful or something that's just been on your mind from it lately?
I'm currently in 2 books. I am notorious for never finishing something without starting something else.
Yeah.
So I'm in a book called 75 Hard, which is it's actually Andy Frisella. Yeah, it's his program, which I've done twice, but he released a book about it. So I'm diving deeper into that. And Relentless by Tim Grover.
Yeah.
I'm actually reading that for the 3rd time. I generally read that about every November, December to kind of gear my brain up for the January that's getting ready to happen. Because come January, things they crank up around Zilla. So just kind of pressing the reset mental button, that's a really, really good book. If you're ever in any type of slump, that'll pull you right out.
I'll have to add that to the list. I'll check it out. Last question here. Love to win or hate to lose?
Hate to lose, without a doubt. And my philosophy behind that, anytime I am set out to do something, I'm a visual person. Like I picture in my mind how it's going to go. Right. And how it's going to go will end up with a win at the end. So in my mind, it's happened. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So whenever it actually comes to fruition and it happens in the present rather than the future, it's like, well, cool. I knew that. And that's not being arrogant, but you have to have that
visualize that victory ahead of time. And you have
visualization. Yeah, absolutely. So, winning, don't get me wrong, winning is fantastic. But, you should never, ever set out to do something with the thought of the possibility of losing.
Exactly.
So therefore you never actually get to enjoy a win, but you're enjoying the win all the time.
Right. No, that's a good point. I like that. So Jordan, I gave earlier about a 30,000 foot view of you and of Zilla and the Zilla brand. Let's take a deeper dive. For those listeners that don't know you, that maybe they know Zilla but don't really know much about it, just kind of know, hey, that's that place downtown. Catch us up to speed with everything there and help educate us a little bit.
Well, Zilla Meals, I cannot take credit for it being my idea. I wish I could. I was a co-founder per se. At the time, I was a full-time personal trainer. I lived in Columbia, Kentucky, about a 45-minute drive from here. And one of my personal training clients, she was in a situation, she was needing a little bit of extra income and so on and so forth. And she wanted to start up this meal prep business. And I was like, she wanted my help doing it because, I mean, I was writing her nutritional plans and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. I honestly did not see it ever doing anything. I was like, this will be like, I have a little bit of free time during the weekends. I can fill it with that, you know?
Yeah.
It grew. We were literally doing pen and paper orders. Like, we would get text messages and say, okay, cool, this is what we're doing. You know, and we had, like I said, we had 3 meals on the menu, and that expanded to 5 on the menu. Now, I learned the hard way that you cannot cook the food that we cook, like proteins and vegetables and stuff like that, in your home and sell it. That is illegal in the state of Kentucky. But at the time, I didn't know that. I was cooking out of my home, and she was cooking out of her home in Russell County. And we would converge, assemble the orders, which it was like 3 orders. So it's not like it was very time consuming. And then we would deliver the orders. About a month and a half into it, she went on vacation, her and a couple of friends, and she come back, and that was the week that we had our biggest sales week ever. At the time, it was 180 meals.
Nice.
And while she was gone, it was just me doing all the work by myself. And she come back and said that she was too stressed and didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, that sucks, because I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
So proceeded on. Ended up getting a small rental kitchen. And whenever I say small rental kitchen, it was the back of a diner out of Russell County, Kentucky. It was me and my wife and a 14-year-old training client that I had at the time, and it was just us 3. And then we hired more on as the business grew, to the point like we officially started January of 2018. Our first day opening, I call that our opening day, was whenever the website went live. We had 4 page views that day. I was 2 of them. So, and now, you know, we ship probably 300 to 400 packages a week. That's just the shipping portion of it. And then we have actually 19 drop-off locations now.
Nice.
We've added one more, and we drop off anywhere between 150 to 200 orders at those drop-off locations. And then, of course, we have our retail store in downtown Somerset.
Right.
So we've been blessed with the growth that we've been able to achieve. You know, majority of our business isn't online, on the online portion of it. And given the climate that we're in right now with, you know, the virus and everything being shut down, that's actually, I hate to say it, it's worked in our favor, you know, because with everybody staying home, they're not going out to eat and whatnot. So, you know, they're getting their food at home, and that's where we come in,
right.
You know. So we start off from a very, very, very humble beginning. And, you know, we're to the point now where at least I don't have to ever ask for food.
There you go. So did you go from the small back kitchen in Russell County to your location in Somerset, or was there anything in between there?
No, it was straight from one to the other. It was ironic how it all worked out. I believe God has a plan for all of us, and I was born and raised here in Somerset. I got married, moved to Columbia, lived there for 4-ish years, and was looking for a spot because we were growing at a rapid rate to the point like where we were at, we'd outgrown that within like 3 months at that small little diner area. And 2, the people who was running that diner kept wanting more rent. Like our rent literally went up every week.
Oh my gosh.
So we needed to get out of there quickly.
Yeah.
And we ran into a few people that was selling some property. So we started talking to them and told them what we wanted and whatnot, and it literally just fell into our lap. Where I'm going to take you off into left field here.
Oh, you're fine.
Kind of how my brain works. I literally remember every single person and every word that everybody's ever said to me that was basically said, you can't do that, or no.
Yeah.
What would have been our loan officer, he was in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Not going to mention a name. I went to him, told him about the business that we run. At the time, we weren't making any form of bank by any means, but we could live off of it.
Right.
And then to ask for hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a facility, he literally laughed at me, and just like that's not going to work. Yeah. And I just said, oh, okay. I said, write the date down right now. And it's ironic that we went to him whenever the time came this year for the stimulus package and whatnot with for the small businesses and everything. Sure. We went back there, and that was specifically just for spite, because I knew that they would need to see our revenue. Right. And so I happily slapped that on his desk, and I said, there you go.
Well, and that was going to be my next question too, because that's a big jump, and I know that's regardless of how the business is starting to grow and things like that. It's no doubt going to be a stressful time too, because that's at that point then it's a monumental investment of saying, hey, we're pushing the little chips to the center of the table. We're going all in on this to go from the back room of a diner to purchasing your own building, purchasing your own property, and really pushing forward with it. So what was that, I guess, decision process like? Was it just from the moment you knew, hey, these things were coming together, you were going to do it, or was there maybe a plan B of, what if we don't buy this building, then we'll just go over here and try it over here at this spot?
Well, I don't ever have a plan B. We were going to get a building. Period. The end. It was just a matter of where's it going to be.
Right.
And at the time, even when we signed the documents to have the place we have now, a retail store was not even in my imagination. It was just I need a larger area for manufacturing this food. That was it. We were literally going to strip it out and put all the equipment and stuff in that we need to have a larger facility. And as we started to move downtown, just coming from Columbia, if you've ever been there, I'm sorry if you have. If anybody's listening from Columbia, I'm sorry, but it's not a very vibrant area. It's everybody knows everybody, and everybody just kind of does their own thing in their own home, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So when I moved downtown, and this was pre-COVID, there's people everywhere. You literally you just sit here and watch, and there's people running, walking their dogs and whatnot out and about. And I'm like, we got to take advantage of that. Foot traffic's going to be outrageous through here. So that's what we did. We actually had an agreement with a barber shop. They were going to partition off a certain footage at the front of our business, and they were going to set up shop there. for a rental fee, and I was like we'll make that in a day.
Yeah.
Just being here. So no, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to scratch that off.
So you really had to kind of adjust on the fly then pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. But it all worked out, which I mean, that's just the way everything goes. You have to roll with the punches. Nothing's
Right.
ever going to go at the plan of which you have.
Right.
Which it's most of the time it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because usually the plan you have in your mind is generally going to be the easiest way of doing it. Because I mean, most of us are pretty
late. There won't be any speed
late.
bumps. There won't be any hiccups. It'll just go perfectly smooth.
Exactly. Just like I refer that to my training clients back in the day whenever I was a full-time personal trainer. They'd be on a fat loss phase, and week 1 they're at 155, and week 2 they're at 153, and then week 3 they're back up to 155. Like, what the hell? What's happening? I'm like, okay, well, I mean, have you pooped today? No. Okay, there you go. But yeah, it's we've been, like I said, we've been very blessed to even have the opportunity and to have the obstacles that we faced, because that just prepares you for the challenges ahead.
Sure.
If it wasn't for the person at the diner constantly charging more rent, if it wasn't for us getting denied 3 loans, if it wasn't for friends and family literally laughing at us for starting this, the crisis of 2020, we'd have just rolled over and died. We'd literally just rolled over and died because we wouldn't have been prepared for it, which a lot of businesses unfortunately did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do you think has been, or what do you think is, I guess, maybe the biggest misconception about Zilla Meals, about the Zilla brand?
That probably the biggest misconception is that we are health food.
Yeah.
And people generally don't accept health food as tasty food by any means, because we're taught if it tastes good, it's probably bad for you. That's just the common misconception.
The better it tastes, the worse it is for you.
Typically, yeah. And I mean, in some instances, you're probably right. I've never seen anybody eat one of those 10-pound Hershey bars they release at Christmas and feel good about themselves. So, but I mean, our main goal, our goal from day one, was to provide a service, provide food that people don't typically think about when they think about healthy nutrition. Like, for example, we have like quesadillas and tacos and stuff like that on our menu, and people are like, oh, this is not computing. I have been taught at the age of 5 this is bad.
Oh yeah.
When really, I mean, food doesn't have morals. The food's not good or bad. It's the contents in it. Is it higher? Is it super high in carbohydrates and fat? Then you need to err away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But we take out a lot of the ingredients that would have excess of carbohydrates or fats or those types of things, and substitute it in to make the entire meal calorically less dense without sacrificing taste. And that's been our goal from day one. Like our first 5 meals, like I said, they were not your bro meals. They weren't chicken and rice or steak or anything. It was literally like we had Oreo donuts at one point, and they were
seeing those. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they were baked protein donuts, and they were fantastic. But there's a certain niche of people who literally just want the stereotypical bodybuilder foods too. So we provide that, yes, but that's not even close to half of it.
Right.
So that would definitely be a misconception.
I think all you have to do is follow your guys' social media for just a week, and you can tell quickly the diversity of your menu, and that you're not just like I said, you're not your health food. You're much, much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And people, a lot of people, especially in the rural area, if it wasn't cooked in grease per se,
Oh, yeah.
well, then I don't want to fool with it,
Yeah. It's got to be deep
But it's
fried
like,
first.
well, I guarantee you try those sweet potatoes and I'll change your mind.
Well, let's switch gears here a little bit. You talked earlier, of course, you have 19 drop-off locations now, and that's not just around Lake Cumberland. That's across the state. That's Pikeville to Louisville, even though we're in Indiana.
Yeah.
Are you the ones delivering those meals, or are those being shipped, or how does that work?
So we have a delivery driver. It used to be Sarah and I. We have an east route and a west route. On the east route, it starts here in Somerset and it goes to London, 2 drop-offs in Corbin, Barberville, Pineville, and Pikeville, and then he has to drive all the way back.
Yeah.
Then the next day he starts off here in Somerset and goes west. He goes to Russell County, Columbia, 3 in Louisville, Lebanon, Clarksville, Indiana, Frankfort, Georgetown, Richmond, and then back.
Okay.
But he's a trooper. He's one of those guys. He's not a social butterfly by any means. So It's a perfect job for him because he has to say hi to like 8 people, and then he gets to drive all day. And I ain't gonna lie, like I miss it sometimes because I'm also not a social butterfly. Like for me to sit here and talk to you for this extended period of time, I'm sitting here like maybe got a little nervous tick in my foot right now. I'm tapping, but
oh, you're good. You're good.
That was my time to like really dive into like what I want to do coming up, like future plans and whatnot.
That windshield would be pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Like anytime somebody's like, you want to, go on a drive for a couple hours, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. But we're not going to talk that entire time. Like you can drive,
right.
And I'll have my headphones in and zone out. But
yeah.
He's a trooper, and he's been with us for probably 6 or 7 months, so he seems to like it.
Nice. I'm sure there were some, I guess, maybe learning curve throughout that process too, but how did you go about, I guess, maybe kind of efficiently mapping that out, but then also so you guys aren't spending too much time? And then I guess an additional kind of question with that too is these places you're taking meals, is there a certain, I guess maybe from a revenue standpoint as a business, is there a certain threshold they've got to meet before you'll even drop meals off? Or is it just, hey, if you want meals, we'll drop them off?
I've never spoken about this. So
we're peeling the curtain behind and checking it out now.
So we have what I call hotspots. And these are the spots that will guarantee bring the money in. These are the places that will have the most orders every week. So if for instance, let's just say in Richmond, they're a hot spot.
Yeah.
And say, Berea, they're wanting a drop off. Mm-hmm. They're right there. So we're headed there. We're headed to our hot spot anyway.
Right.
So it's literally just going to be on the way. Even if that's only 2 orders, it's taking 15 minutes out of his day to get off the exit and go somewhere else.
Right.
So as long as it's in line with our hot spots, we're more than welcome to add you on. But if you're like, I don't know, if you're in like Knoxville, Tennessee,
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's completely the opposite direction.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you would need to be a hotspot at that point,
Yeah. Something I read too, and I think it was probably actually maybe been as early as the day that we're recording here that I saw it, but something that, or a couple things that make you guys different is your food stays in your prep room, which stays at 36 degrees. It keeps that food fresher longer, keeps that food from getting compromised. And of course, I know in the early days too, you guys had just the pop-up lids, which I'm sure were functional, but maybe not I guess maybe didn't keep food fresh as long as it needed to. And now you guys have the cryovac sealing technology. What made you go? I'm sure when you started out, you probably didn't have, I'm assuming at least you didn't cook the food in like a refrigerated room and have this sealing technology. How did you, I guess, maybe learn about both techniques, and I guess maybe what pushed you to go ahead and get those in place and use that process for it all?
So we started in January of 18, and in June of 18, I knew I wanted to do exactly what we're doing right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
To the point, I literally met with a rep. Multivac is the company that we use for our tray seal cryovac machine. I met with him. He's from Casey County, and he services the entire southeast region. He just literally just happens to be down the road.
Yeah.
He met with me in Walmart in Columbia, and we were walking around. Mind you, at this point, we're doing literally 200 meals a week. Like we're not even fetuses yet in the form of creating a human. And he knew it. He was just humoring me. So we walked through Walmart, and he showed me the different styles of sealing, the different styles of packing and whatnot. And we finally get to the end of the discussion. I'm like, okay, quote me a price. And he was like, well, our baseline machine is $70,000.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'm like, I pulled the role of our loan officer, and I just laughed at him. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I'm like, no one has that type of money.
Yeah.
I don't have that type of money. And two, how the hell is it worth it? Because at the time, what we were doing, it was functional. I mean, it was working. Was it optimal? No. We were at the diner, and I just thought, hey, we could just take this machine and roll it in and plug it in the wall. No, that's not how it works at all. After we got the bad boy in, which the machine that does that literally costs as much as my first house.
Nice.
So, and that's the baby in the building. If anybody breaks that thing, we've had to have some stern talks with folks before. But we're not the only meal prep company in Kentucky, but I guarantee you we're the best. And the reason why we are is because of what you said, the technology that we have and the resources that we've been able to get to.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that food comes out of the oven and it begins to cool at room temperature, it then becomes prone to creating foodborne illness.
Sure.
So we blast chill our food, and then once the food goes into the prep room, which stays at 36 degrees, it does not leave that prep room until it is going to be sealed. And then it goes straight from the prep room right over to the sealer, and they'll seal probably, 20 times 9, I'm terrible, 180 meals in 20 minutes. Nice. Somebody goes through, slaps a label on them, goes right back in the cooler. And then they don't leave that cooler until they're getting ready to be either put in a bag to be taken to a drop off, or in a FedEx box. We weren't able to do that until within the last year. But I knew I knew from 2018, that's what we needed to do for the customer, because no one's just buying this food to eat it on the day that they get it. They're getting. We literally had the largest single order we've ever had came last night. Ironically.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think he ordered about 130 meals for.
Wow.
I don't know if he bought it for an organization or what, but I mean, I was at the gym and I seen my phone ding. I was like, oh my God, who the hell is that? That machine that we got, the cryovac, it sucks out the oxygen and pumps in 25% nitrogen, which keeps food fresher.
Right.
but it also sucks out so much air, and the only thing that's in there is nitrogen. Mm-hmm. So instead of having, like, you take a regular meal, you put it in the refrigerator or whatever without a top on it, or even with just a little pop lid on it, of which air is coming in and out of there.
Right.
That may be good for 3 to 5 days. And I mean, on that 5th day, you're going to be like, yeah, this isn't very good. Like, it doesn't taste good. Whereas with what we do, literally 12 days later, it's going to taste just like it came out of the oven. You know?
And I'd say that's incredibly beneficial for you guys too, just to have that extended shelf life. It allows you to sell more at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cause like I said, majority of people especially who buy these in bulk, they're not doing this just for one day. They're stocking up for the week, you know? Right. So they want that safety and security of knowing, hey, this meal is going to be good when I need to eat it next week.
Exactly. So we'll switch gears here a little bit again. What's on top or what's on tap in 2021 for you guys and going forward? If it's stuff that you're willing to talk about at this time.
Well,
if not, we can switch gears and do something else.
I can't release too much info for superstitious reasons.
Hey, I feel you on that. I get that.
I had big plans for 2020, and then we all see how that happened. Yeah. So we actually planned to open up another retail store in Louisville nice. This year. Now I'm trying to stay as far away from that place as possible. We still have our drop-offs there, but that's about as far as we're going to get. You know,
gotcha.
Love a bunch of people up there, but it's a mess from what I hear.
Yeah.
But honestly, like right now, we usually take the week of Christmas, we take that off. By take that off, I mean, we're not cooking food.
Yeah.
I'm literally in the office at 5:30 in the morning till probably 4 at night, working on the website and trying to formulate new ideas, you know. We try to release at least 1 to 2 new meals every week. So at the end of the year, we can literally have upward of 100 meals brand new, you know, that we can just pull from when we need to. We have one of our goals is to get all currently 50 states shipped to. Nice. We're at 46 of 50.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's apparently not very many people.
Some heavy social media ads in those other 4 states to get those knocked out.
Yeah, it's the Midwest. Apparently, no one lives there. I think it's like Montana, Wyoming, and Nevada are 3. I know right off the top of my head. So I was like, well, how did we skip you guys? And we're like, we're all over California. We ship to California every week and Washington awesome. Every week. Yeah. It's like, all of our employees, not counting myself, we have to literally teach why it's important to measure all this food. Because where we're from here in Kentucky, no one knows what a scale is. You know, the scales that we use, they use that for like measuring marijuana. They don't use that for food.
Right.
And so we have to teach these people, you know, the importance of, okay, you know, this nutritional label says this, and it's because this meal is supposed to be 4 ounces of chicken and 4 ounces of sweet potato and half a cup of green beans. You know, the moment that you slip on that, well, now you're making us a liar.
Exactly. Yeah.
So one of my goals for 2021 is to bring in more people that are more nutritionally sound per se, as more of just like a reference point for my staff, you know, because I'm not there all the time. So to have, but my team, they do a great job. I'm not throwing them under the bus by any means. We have a great team, but great can always be better.
Sure.
And you know, with the way we ship with the cryovac sealing, that was the reason why we had that. The main reason was because whenever we were formerly shipping with UPS, if we shipped 20 boxes in a week, 18 of those customers were calling us saying that their food was broken, like their plates were broken.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like that was back when we were doing the pop-on lids and whatnot, and it was just a nightmare. Like, my wife handles the majority of the customer service, and bless her heart, she'd come home just stressed out every single night. And so that was beyond the aspect of, better quality food. It was literally just get the dang food to the customer intact.
Right. Oh,
so, we want to, it's 1,000% better now, but that can be better too. We've had issues, and I know every courier service is different, but the one we're currently using, they have their own set of problems. We need to mitigate a lot of that.
Sure.
Because the way our food works, the way our shipping works, it has to get there the next day.
Exactly.
We use just enough dry ice for a 36-hour transit. Mm-hmm. So if that box sits at a depot for 2 days, by the time that food gets to the customer, no bueno. Right. It's hot and dried out. So working on shipping for sure in 2021, as well as other things I'm not obligated to mention yet. So
stay tuned and follow social media accounts. I like it.
March 2021.
There we go. Well, we'll go ahead and start kind of winding this down a little bit. If you were to give advice to someone that's maybe looking to start their own business and maybe it's in the health and fitness industry, maybe it's not, what would be some advice you could give them?
This is one of the things that I had to learn early. Start giving your service for free. First thing. You're not entitled to anybody's money. I don't care what background you have, what degrees you have. You didn't earn their money just by going to school. You didn't earn their money by having experience. You earn their money by trust. Yep. And you develop relationships through trust. Whenever I started off with just being a personal trainer, my first, I think, 5 clients I trained, I literally just trained them for free.
Yeah.
The only thing I asked them to do was give me references.
Yeah.
Post about it. Post about our workouts. Post about your transformations. Get my name out there for me.
Right.
And then, even before Zilla Meals, I had a very good just nutritional coaching and personal training business. I was very happy doing that, but better opportunities came. Right. But had I just went out of the gate saying, okay, this is $25 an hour to train with me and X amount for nutritional coaching and whatnot. Okay, cool. Let me see some of your clients. Well, you're my first.
Yeah.
Okay. Why should I pay you? You have nothing. Oh, cool.
Right.
You've got in shape. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
Right. So definitely starting off, and that's a hard pill to swallow, because anytime anybody gets in business, your goal is to make money.
Right.
But you can't make $1 million in one day, and you're not going to. So you grow your business one customer at a time. That's the only way. We were able to grow literally by word of mouth for a long time. We didn't spend a dime on advertising until we were probably 2 years old.
Yeah.
And by that time we were, by that time we were moving into our new facility.
Right.
Your customers are the people who are paying your bills. Treat them with the utmost respect. One of the lines in the book I was reading, the 75 Hard book, and you can bleep this out if you need to, put up with everyone's bullshit or be broke.
Yep.
The customer is not always correct, but they're always right. And that's a difficult concept for people to grasp.
Yeah.
Because a customer, for instance, let's just say we've got a scumbag of a human being who will say, well, we literally ship their food to them in perfect condition. They're not missing anything. And they can literally just lie to us and say, well, I'm missing 4 meals.
Yeah.
I could argue with them and say, no, I literally packed that box myself. I know you're lying to me. Mm-hmm. Well, what's that going to do? They can screenshot that, post it on social media. You're done.
Yeah.
We live in a world today where you can literally be done by you making one mistake.
Yeah.
It's not like the old days where you had to have such a bad reputation for it to spread over time. Like you can just make one slip up, and you're done. So
a week, you're done.
Yeah. Every single customer, whether they spend $1 or they spend $1,000, they matter. Every single one, and they need to all be treated the exact same. And it's with the utmost respect. And no customer question or inquiry is above you or below you. If you don't know the answer, don't be cocky. Say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you. We've had people who have come in our retail store, not knowing who we are. They just know, hey, they serve food.
Right.
And our neighbor next door at Serendipity, like they won't be open yet. They have some differing hours. Back whenever they had indoor dining.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they would come in, and I get it. We're not everybody's cup of tea. So somebody actually wanted to sit down and dine. We don't offer that. I said, all right, what are you in the mood for? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, cool. You're wanting some steak and mashed potatoes? Cool. I know somebody who can get that for you. They'll actually be open next door in about 2 hours. I can give you their number, so on and so forth. Now, that customer didn't have a good experience with me, even though I didn't make a sale with that customer, but they may down the road run into somebody who's needing our services, and I say, hey, that was a good dude. Let's just refer them over to them. And I've got a friend, he runs a supplement store, and somebody, they called the wrong number. They were looking for some kind of oil change place. And my guy literally walked him through how to change his own oil over the phone. Now, nice. That guy may never shop with him for supplements, but you're building that rapport with individuals.
Exactly. So. Well, Jordan, I want to be respectful of your time, so I'll try and wrap this up here. Sorry, don't worry, get in there. If someone's interested in maybe meal prepping with Zilla, having food shipped to their house, becoming a drop-off location with you guys, how should they go about doing that?
Majority of the information is on our website, and that's zillameals.com. I try to make it as point blank as possible on there. But if there's anything that we haven't addressed on there, our phone number is 859-287-4232, and we're open from 10 to 6 Monday through Friday. If you're in the Somerset area, you can come by and see us and talk to us. If you're listening and you're out of the area, you can email us, and that's info@zilla-meals.com. Our social media is @Zilla Meals on Instagram, facebook.com/Zilla Meals. We're very active on there. Usually social media is the best way to get a hold of us, or to inquire for any type of question like that.
Okay, I'll be sure and put the links to the website and social media in the show notes on this too, so people can find that pretty easily. If someone's interested in receiving coaching from you, how should they do that?
They can email me personally, and that's zillatrainer@gmail.com.
Okay.
And I only have a very few limited spots, just because I'm a very meticulous professional at what I do in that realm. I'm not going to take on 100 clients and give them a cookie cutter program. I got to get to know you. I got to get to know what works for you. And I got to be able to put in the time to do that. So I only take on, just a handful of people every so often. So.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like our listeners to know?
I think we pretty well took a really good deep dive in.
Yeah, so. I know I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think the listeners, I hope they did as well. But all I can say is be sure to to follow Zilla Meals on Instagram, follow them on Facebook, check out their website, do business with them, support them locally. I've enjoyed watching your guys' journey the last couple of years here, and wish you the best of luck in 2021. I know you guys are going to continue to crush it, and look forward to some of these exciting announcements coming out later this year.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Stay tuned.